Okay, our second method is what we're going to call product and sum, and then we look for factors. So we've got our same example again. The first video has gone through the difference between a monic and a non-monic quadratic, so I'll leave that one be. Basically, again, we've got something where our x squared, the number in front of x squared is not 1, and there's no common factor. So we end up with something that looks like this. Same example from before, 3x squared plus 4x plus 1. So before, when we were doing our standard monic quadratics, where it's just a plain old x squared, we were looking for numbers that sum to give 4 and produce or have a product of 1. We've already established that we can't do that here because we've got that standard, that non-standard 3 in front of the x squared. So what we can do instead is we adjust our product, So our product now becomes this value here, 3 multiplied by 1. Trust me on this and see where I take it. Our product is 3 times 1, which is 3. And our sum is still 4. Okay? So what I do to find what my product is, I multiply the number in front of x squared and my constant term. So I get 3 times 1 is 3. Now, what I'm looking for is numbers that multiply to give 3 and add to give 4. Well, my factors there will be 3 and 1. Okay, so my factors are 3 and 1. Here is the next step that we take. Leave the 3x squared and leave the 1. What you are going to do is split up this 4x into 3x and 1x. Okay, now the reason that we split that up is because we need to split this 4x into these factors. Okay, now that we've got 4 terms, now you might be looking at that saying, but they're like terms, so I could put them back together and that would become 4x. Yes, you could, but we don't want to. We've actually taken the step to do the opposite of that and split them up very selectively. So now we put our line down the middle, and let's do this in pairs. Okay, let's group these in pairs. So what I'm going to have is a common factor of 3x and x plus 1 plus, well, my common factor over here is just 1. And they share the same factor of x plus 1. So how can I rewrite this? I can say my common factor between those two is x plus 1 and 3x plus 1. And if you go and have a look at the other method that was in the first video, it's exactly the same result. Okay, it's done slightly differently. This one is a little bit more methodical, if you'd like. There is more of a step-by-step to it rather than just simply looking for some factors and then making an educated guess and checking if you're correct. But either way, if done correctly, will get you the same result. Let's try one more for this method. Our second example was 2x squared minus 11x plus 5. Okay, again, we check for a common factor, but there's none. Okay, there's no common factors here, so we're going to have to do our PSF method. So our product is our product of 2 and 5, which is 10. Remember, that's our constant term, our number by itself, and the number in front of x squared. And the sum that I'm looking for, my pair of numbers, is minus 11. All right, well, my factors, what numbers multiply to give 10 and to give minus 11? Well, my factors are minus 1 and minus 10. If you check those, product of minus 1 and minus 10 is 10, and the sum of those two numbers is minus 11. So we go through that same process again where we're going to split up our middle terms. 2x squared minus, and it really won't matter which order you put these in, it will end up the same, but I'm going to go minus 10x minus x plus 5. As I said, it will not matter what order you put those in, it will come out the same way. Now we split it down the middle, group them in pairs. So my common factor first is 2x, x minus 5, and well, what I want is here is x minus 5, but I've got minus x plus 5, so I just have minus 1 there. So let's go and put those two together. Common factor of x minus 5, and then 2x minus 1 of the other factors. Again, that works out the same way. All we are doing is selectively splitting up these middle lots of minus 11x into these two numbers. So we take the product of my number in front of x squared and the constant term, and that's the numbers we're looking to multiply to get, and then we simply look at the sum of minus 11 or whatever our coefficient of x is. So this is, as I said, a little bit more methodical, but you take your pick.